How to be a director Part 1. The basics. Number 1. How to do your first movie. I've been making movies for more than 20 years if you count all the movies I made as movies. My oldest movie that's available to watch is one of my Metal Face movies. Metal Face is a good place to start off, but before I do, let me first say I've never been paid to make a movie. I don't work in the movie industry, I work at a factory making trophies. I don't have a lot of money, neither do you. That's okay. I can make a super serious, good actor movie for under $2,000. A full feature. Or I could make a horror movie. It would be hard to do a sci-fi for $2,000, but I really need you to get into the imaginative headspace where you know how much money you have, you know how many of your friends are down to appear in a movie as unpaid actors, and you know some free places to shoot. Writing a script out of thin air based only on what assets you have at your disposal is easy, but hard. And this I bet I could cover in a whole nother video, but I'll touch on it briefly here as well. Metal Face was made in high school. I was a freshman, and at the time I had been avidly writing comics that starred me and my 3 best friends. It was easy to write because I didn't have to think up the main characters' backstories. It just had me, Ted, and Alex, and occasionally my friend Michael. And we would go on these movie-based adventures. And then I'd make up my own stories, and they were kind of funny too. And this is where I learned to write, basically, and how to do what I like to call genre hopping. Like if you're in a future spaceship and you land on a planet with humans who live in a medieval level of civilization. So, you have aliens, and dragons, and knights, and wizards, and spaceships, and laser guns. And then it's like, say that spaceship goes to a different planet that has pirates and want treasure. So that's what genre hopping is. Back to Metal Face. John Waters, I think, is the one who said learning to shoot a violent action scene is a great way to learn how to shoot your first movie. And at the time I agreed because I was not confident in my writing skills yet. And I bet you're not either. But that's okay because Metal Face was nothing more than a series of kill-murder scenes starring me as the murderer and my trusty friends to be victims. They would hold the camera, I would hold the camera, and we were careful not to get the blood anywhere that it would leave a mess because we're shooting in people's houses and, But shooting in the woods opens up way more possibilities. You can make a mess, you can be loud, you can hire nude models if you're deep in the woods or happen to have woods in your property. But nude models are a different video. Do not get nude models on your first goddamn movie, and don't have your friends do it either. If you're in college and you have friends that are like really hot, that's one thing, but nudity is another video. I don't care if you're in art school and all the kids are doing it. Leave that for when you have some talent, and more importantly, know how to work with real actors and real models, because there are rules and you have to be, you have to be professional. Shooting in the woods is great because you can pretend you're anywhere. You can pull a Blair Witch and pretend you get lost in the woods and shoot at the same fallen tree 3 times and act like, oh no, we're going in circles. And then you have your tall football friend in a monster suit and he runs out and he kills them all. A decent monster suit can be so cheap if you just write it correctly. You have to write it so it's cheap, like a trash mummy. Dress your friend up in garbage clothing ripped up with duct tape and, cover them in twigs and make it look good. Plastic bags and gross stuff and make them wear a mask. That's practically free. Or a zombie, you can just paint the guy's face with magic marker and some white clown makeup, I suppose, but just a little bit. You don't have to go overboard. Use applesauce on their flesh, lumpy, make it lumpy and wet like they're drowning victims on. Use clear tape to yank their eyelid open and hide the tape with a strand of their hair, a lock of their hair. Fake blood is easy and cheap too. It's just red egg dye and chocolate syrup. Egg dye is the stuff they use to, make cupcake frosting red or green or whatever. It's totally edible. Just buy egg dye and chocolate syrup. And if you want it to be like not goopy, but drippy, like, put it in a guy's mouth and he drips it out like he's dying. You want it to like drip and dribble like real blood. and you want it to be, egg dye, chocolate syrup, and a little bit of milk, just a little bit of milk to make it, liquidy and keep that bright red color. You just don't want it to look like Hollywood blood that's completely see-through, like it's corn syrup and red dye. Like, real blood isn't see-through. It's the chocolate that gives it that opaque kind of nature as opposed to see-through and lame. Number 2, how to work with non-actors. So, let's just say you're good on the script. You have an amazing script. I don't know where you got it. Maybe you wrote it. Maybe you bought the rights for someone who, I don't know. You just have an awesome script and you're ready to get some talking scenes with your friends and classmates for your movie. So there's a lot of talking and emotion. But your friends didn't memorize shit, and they're not actors. But that's okay because you knew this ahead of time. And you wrote them short lines that are easy to remember if the script is right in front of them or nearby. So how do you even know that your friends are going to actually be good? Well, you have to have them read the script with you in person in advance. Have them read it out loud like they're reading a book. Do the voice, like if it's Harry Potter, then, do the Voldemort voice, like, Harry, do this, you do the actual voice. And that's how you know if they're going to actually be able to deliver, whether they have the script in front of them or not, because they've already done this voice and they know how it should sound. Have them read it like a book out loud, and you do all the parts that they don't do. All the parts in the scene that they're in. You'll know if they're flat right away. This is an important part of working with real actors off the internet. You must audition them, see what they can do. Have them read a bit of the easy stuff, and then have them show you the hard stuff. Just a 20-minute audition, maybe a bit longer if you're really friendly and you're having fun. If you see your friend acting with the script nearby, or the real actor reading the script, you'll know if you want them in their movie. With the friend, you can try and fix them. You can't really fix the actor though. They either get it or they don't. But your friend can be made to understand. You can micromanage your friends. You can't do that to a real actor. Those people have pride in their work, and I would rather cancel the movie until next year than go with a bad actor hoping I can force a good performance out of them, because it's just not going to happen. That's not how it's done. You can do that with a non-actor because they're, hopefully they're excited to be in the movie and they're waiting for you to give them direction because you know exactly what you need. So make the script for your first movie something you know for sure your non-actor friends can do. Being a good director means you have to be a people person. You have to be good at making people like you to some extent. Especially when you want to cast someone you never met, like a beautiful fashion major at your college. You want her in the movie as a minor character, and you literally have to walk up to this beautiful girl and finesse her way into asking her to be in your movie. You have to get her number. You have to make her smile and want to do your cool little movie. So now you have your close friends and some classmates and a really attractive person in your movie. Give all of them their lines and read with them. Read it like an audiobook with voice actors. Yell when you need to yell, whisper when you need to whisper, or be mean, or be nice, or whatever the tone of the, whatever is required. Read it like it's for real. Give them a few days to think about the movie. They're not going to memorize the script. They're never going to do that. But they will remember the movie's plot and what it's about, and they'll remember reading it with you and being like, okay, I get it. It's shoot day, and you have plenty of time. Hours and hours. But honestly, don't take like 5 hours. That's way too long. I mean, if you're gonna drive around, then that's forgiven, but don't spend a whole day with a non-actor. They're not gonna like that. Just try and keep it, 5 hours if you're gonna include driving. Otherwise, 5 hours is way too long. Get your camera set up, and if you have other equipment, then be quick about it. Don't spend tens of minutes setting up stuff while a talent is waiting around. They need to stay invested or their patience could run out. You can micromanage, but if they were good reading the script earlier, then don't act like they need over-direction now. Let them do it their way a little, and if you find yourself spending an hour on one little line, you're a bad director. You have to make progress and let the actors know how much time you need, but more importantly, you have to have a reasonable rate of progress. You have to move along at a good pace. When working with real actors, the only real direction you need to give is a little more. Give me a little less. Slower. Faster. Louder. The only time you have a discussion over a line or a scene is if the actor doesn't understand, or maybe they have an idea, but they want to talk to you first, like maybe they have a good idea about how it could make the scene better, with their certain skill set. Just depends on the actor, but... Number 3, where to spend the money if you only have $200. So you have a few locations and a few friends to be in the movie, but you're really poor. You only have $200. For that amount, I would avoid buying wardrobe, location, actors, models. You can do whatever you want, but don't spend the whole budget on one thing. Locations are expensive. So unless you can get a friend who will take $20 for shooting in his bedroom for a few hours or his basement or whatever, don't spend big bucks on locations. One of the biggest tips I have to anyone making movies is never spend any money at all until you have all the actors cast and you've asked permission where you need to and everything is set up and you have your schedule, you storyboarded if you need to storyboard, your script is completely done, everybody knows their lines, and you have a tentative shoot date 3 or 2 weeks ahead of today. Now you order your props from Amazon or eBay and wait for them to come, and in the meantime, text people and remind them of the shoot. You know exactly how to go about it. Communicate. Wait till the last second to buy and spend your money. The money is the final step before shoot day. You already have a script, people have read it, and you know how they'll be. And you've reminded your dumbass friends of the shoot day and locations because they will forget. I think the best way to make sure people all come is to have less people in one day. The script should be scenes that are 1, 2, or 3 characters at a time. More and you just risk people not showing up. When you're not paying people, that's how it is. You need to give people a reason to show up. If it's a tiny character, then you need to have written it so that it's important and the actor knows that they're a linchpin, irreplaceable, even if they're a tiny part. Because, you don't want to have an actor that drives all the way from the city and comes down to your house and they're only in the scene for a split second. They're gonna feel like they wasted their time. So you have to write the script so that every character, no matter how small, makes it worth their while. So keeping that in mind, don't even write that many characters in because honestly it's not going to happen. You're going to have about 14 people in your movie, a maximum. Something like that. Number 4, stealing locations. An important skill in making movies on a tiny budget is the art of stealing locations. You can't film at the mall, you can't film on the street, you can't film in the subway, but you can for a minute or so before someone tells you to stop. If you can shoot a scene in a minute and then run away, try it. Don't do anything dangerous. Do not hurt the actor. Shooting with a cell phone is annoying, but nobody ever stops you. Sometimes they do, but I'd start testing your limits. And cell phones are really nice these days. You can shoot an actual movie. So shoot the scene on your cell phone. Because, honestly, most people don't stop these morons on their cell phone when they're shooting stuff. So you could be the guy shooting an actual movie and just annoy people and then you go away. So that would buy you about 5 minutes, maybe a bit more. You could shoot at the museum or the mall. When attempting this act of location stealing, you absolutely must disclose this to the cast and make sure they know They might waste their time in pursuit of that one shot. It is risky. Some actors get pissy. Don't try to assert yourself. Just keep everyone happy. Don't be a pushover. You're the captain, but these sailors are not your men. They drove here from miles away and expect to act. No waiting around, no bad attitudes. You have to be willing to compromise at all times. You are not the boss of anyone. You are the artist they trust. That's it. If you write the script and get free actors to sign on based on how good the script is, and you audition them and you are professional and encouraging, they will respect you. If you know what you need at all times and you're able to make changes and think on your feet and you never break under pressure, they will respect you. If the stress gets to you, tell them. Don't get mad and pass down the hate. They don't deserve it. It is stressful. A good director is in constant communication. Number 5, how to write a script based on what you have. Now we're going to briefly cover this because being a writer is a separate video, but the gist of it is you have to first know what you have. You might not even know what you have. Locations. How many friends' houses can you shoot a movie scene in? Have you asked? Actors. How many friends do you have? Personnel. How many people in your life can do off-camera dirty work like driving, setting up, or anything to help with the movie? Money. How much money do you have? Equipment. You need editing software, a camera, and a tripod. Anything else is just toys. I mean, yeah, you can buy a sound recorder if you have $150 to blow, but the camera should have a good mic. It's your first movie and you're poor. If you have a crappy camera, the only thing you can do is light the scene brightly because that camera can't see in the dark and it can't see in the dim. When you buy that nice camera, make sure it can see in the dim and maybe a lot in the dark. Some cameras can see pretty good in the dark. That's more important than the glass, the lens. Besides, that lens is thousands of dollars. Are you telling me you can spot the difference between your $700 phone and a $2,000 DSLR lens shot video or photo? I might not be able to, and I'm not supposed to say that. Don't be a nerd who spends his money on cameras. Spend it on actors and props and fake blood and costumes and monster effects. You'll have more fun and you'll meet cooler people. You can write a Batman movie. All you need is a $300 Batman suit and Joker costume, and the rest really just is a good script. You need a good script and you need to break the rules. Trust me, you can do almost anything. Bury some fake treasure and have some actors follow a treasure map and have them go places, and then they dig up the treasure. And then you can include a zombie. I don't know. You can do that whole movie for under $300. Short film. I recommend my favorite suggestion. Put a werewolf in it. By that I mean add something fantastic. What's Harry Potter without magic? A teen drama. We all know what those are like. What's Jennifer's Body without demonic magic and Megan Fox? Just get some basic looking actress to play a demon girl. I mean, it's been done, but there's a reason filmmakers make these certain choices. They want people to see the movie. Megan Fox is hot. Demons are cool. Bloody demon magic is cool. Otherwise, it's just some nerd that goes to a concert with her friend and they talk about boys the rest of the movie. Was Freddy Krueger without his glove? Just a knife in his hand. Like a moron. Like, what if he weren't burnt? What if he didn't exist in your dreams, nightmares? It's just a guy who knifes people to death. Boring. Even Jason Voorhees made it interesting by being creative, and believe it or not, people in the 70s got scared a lot easier. Nowadays you need more. The remake of Jason added just enough new stuff to make it fresh. You need to know what you could do, and then you budget it and see if you can actually do it. Vampires are easy. Zombies can be easy if you maximize your budget on gore effects to build up the zombie's presence. You know, seeing that zombie makeup done my way is like $30 per head. Part 6. Biting off more than you can chew. Managing the disaster that is movie making. So an actor bailed. I remember one time an actress didn't show up. But there were about 6 other actors in the scene, so There were 2 other women. I didn't panic. I decided to delegate all the no-shows actress lines to the only character that could take them without breaking the plot. It changed her character a bit, but the alternative was unthinkable. Sending everyone home and try again later, I'm telling you, getting 6 people to show up is hard. Think on your feet, use your imagination. Calm. You can take a break to plot your next move. Take 5-10 minutes and just think about what you can do with the people you have. Communicate with your actors and your crew, if you have a crew. You don't need a crew. So an actor is incapable of saying the line right. It's easier to fix. Change the line. Make them think up an easier way to get the idea across. The lines are just the way they convey the idea, like in real life. It's a skill you'll need for staying positive and critiquing actors' performance in the way that makes them want to get it right, not feel bad about getting it wrong. There are famous directors who made actors, famous actors do 23 takes of more than one line. That's retarded. I don't care if you're David Fincher. You're an idiot. I call bullshit. You can't get away with this behavior as a newbie director. I will never be like that. The only time we need to redo a line more than 3 times is if the actor is almost there, but somehow they just don't get it. So maybe we move on anyway. Don't pull teeth to get a line. The show must go on. An actor is angry and wants to leave. This has never happened to me, but I can tell you, if an actor gets upset and wants to leave, you have 2 options. And you can read the room and read the actor to choose what to do. Are they being dramatic? Are they really gonna leave? Or do they just want a break? A cigarette, some food. Sometimes a little love will just make it better. Or you can break for the day. Or you can fire them as much as you can. If you shot a bunch of scenes already and you can't just fire them, then you might have to rewrite the remaining script to uninclude them. Make them show up for one last day just to seal up, if you can't, I don't know. You might have to rewrite the whole script. Really, you have to vet these people in the audition. And 9 times out of 10, you're gonna have to make peace with them. As you make movies more and more, you'll get used to knowing who's a trustworthy actor and who isn't. You slept through a meeting. You were meeting an actor and they showed up and you ghosted them. That sucks, dude. You need to set reminders and apologize and understand that actor will never work with you. Bad director. I've done this more times than I'd like to admit. It makes actors really mad. So you're in the middle of the shoot and you're breaking down. Too much stress. Take a long think. Are you having fun? Is it worth it? Is it too much responsibility, or do you need to try a smaller movie next time? Any artist worth his salt has imagination. A director needs to think on his feet. How can you take some of this stress away? How can you take off some of the edge? Stop spending money. Reevaluate the money. Money causes stress. But most of the time, you're locked in. You can write away the scenes you have left so you have a shorter film with incomplete segments that you're going to have to accept. But I say, this is your dream. And if it's not, be a writer. That only becomes stressful if you attempt the next Game of Thrones, the next giant saga with a bazillion characters. I mean, you can do it, but it can get messy even if you literally have genius-level literary comprehension as I do. Trust me, intelligence is overrated. I know tons of morons who are making more money than me in their artistic field. You really, really need to do this for the fun of it. The message you need to tell. The good characters you meet and the good character you build deep inside forever. You were the captain once. Look at this movie. I suggest you try a short film first and make it low stakes and fun. Number 7, being proud of yourself and being proud for your piece of crap movie. How to properly critique a movie and how to make yourself feel better about the results. Dude, your movie sucks. Okay, fine. Let's take another look and salvage the good parts for next time. What did you do right? What failed? Do you see the failures? Where exactly are they? How many on the list of failures can you fix for next time? How much money did you waste? Here's how to find a way to compliment a bad movie. Batman vs. Superman. It's long and boring, and the fight is like 2 minutes. So, you say something like, "It really builds the tension till you're aching for the action. But when it punches hard. That fight was brutal at times. Properly super. It was corny. But that's okay because superheroes are corny. Don't be a dick." So, how about Joker, Folie à Deux? Joaquin Phoenix played a Joker who changed his mind, got assaulted, and stabbed, and died pitifully. Joaquin was in character at all times, and you felt his emotions. He sold every moment. The music was dumb, the dancing was cringe, the singing was worse. The music was a trip, dude. Made me think differently. It felt like it was a different movie. I was like, wow, that's crazy. So you see what I mean? Just find a way to make it positive. It's not sugarcoating if you're truthful. It's not bullshit. You don't have to fake confidence. You can get better.